Hi, this is Pam, Flower Patch Farmhouse, and today we are going to take cuttings off of this geranium, and it has a lot of nice supple growth. You see it's nice and green. It's not old and brown and gnarly looking. That's what you want for cuttings. This particular geranium has been in my house to overwinter. A lot of times I just cut them back to the pot top and put them in the basement to overwinter. But I thought I would try these in the house to see if I got earlier blooms, because we don't get warmth weather until June. So I wanted to get a head start. Now this one is like a coral color that I really liked. I only found the one and I wanted more. So I looked all last summer. I didn't find any. So this year I'm going to make sure I have more than just the one. It was much fuller of a plant. This whole thing was full, but I made a big boo-boo and actually watered it with salt water, which just about killed it, of course. And so I've got this one limb or two limbs still alive, and I want more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece off. Actually, I can go back pretty far. You see that? I'm going to take off all these side shoots. And I'm going to put it down. This is my rooting hormone right here. Hopefully you can see. The sun's coming out in the glare. I cannot see what I'm doing. Yes, right here. And I am going to dip it down in there. You see, I want the two leaf nodes there to be dipped down in it, because that is where the roots will come from. I'm going to use my Sharpie as a dauber. I have these 3-inch or 2.5-inch pots. I think they're 3-inch pots. And I'm going to put it down in there. But first I'm going to take off a bunch of these leaves. We don't need them. And I'm just going to put it down in there and firm it in with my homemade potting soil. This works good for rooting as well. I don't need these leaves, so I'm going to take these off because they're bending over. So I have had 100% success rate in rooting geraniums. They are super easy. You just have to make sure you get the good green growth. Now I had a gentleman who said he did the old hard growth too, and he had a 50% rate, which is pretty good of them rooting. Now here's another piece. I don't know if I'm going to get a third. I might. I could be really taking that plant back. But again, I'm going to cut the leaves off. Lots and lots of leaves on here. I'll leave that little center growth there. I'm going to dip it in the rooting hormone. These are my favorite gloves. They're from the Bamboo Gardener, and they really give me good dexterity. I always wear gloves, even though I love getting my hands in the soil, because I often have cuts on my hand. And working with potting soil and whatever with open wounds or scratches or cuts on your hand is not healthy. You could get bacteria infection and what have you. And I know a lot of people don't like wearing gloves, but this is compost from a turkey farm, so you don't want to be handling that or any really kind of potting soil without having gloves on, because we have scratches on our hands. Even if you have a fingernail that may be like, around the cuticle, you can have like a little area that's open and you don't realize it, a cuticle tear, and bacteria gets in there. Okay, my lecture's over. So there is, see, can you see? Oh, the glare is terrible in here. Let me come up just a little bit so you can see. It's not focusing on my plant. Okay, I only have this stem left and this stem. Now there's lots of areas where more can come from. I could either be happy with my 2 starts let this one go on. This one has some growth coming out over here, or I can take like another piece right there, and see there's more growth coming from underneath. I think I'll risk it and go ahead and go for a third. That way I would have 4 plants. So here is a leaf node. I don't have to go all the way up. I can let that one grow up, because right there is a leaf node. And take that off. Cut off most of these leaves, and then I'll go ahead, put it in the rooting hormone, and do the same. Dauber, put it in there, and bury it. Now I have a blog post on this, on propagating geraniums from cuttings, and you can go see my setup there of what I do. I put these in a tray, and I have a dome lid, and I put them on my light shelf, my seed starting shelf, and indoors. That way I can control the climate, the temperatures, and they will root very quickly. Probably in 3 weeks I'll be able to show you how they've rooted. And that is how you root a favorite geranium. I know I'm going to get the same color. If I would have started seeds, which seeds for geraniums start very easy, if I would have started from seed, there's no guarantee I would get the same color, because in my garden they cross-pollinate, and I have different colors, so there would be no guarantee of getting the exact same color. So that is how I clone the parent plant.